You are listening to episode 89 of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Welcome to the Peaceful Mind Podcast, a place for creating the peace of mind you need to be the best mom you were created by God to be. If you want to bring more balance, more joy, and more peace to your motherhood, this is the place for you. I'm your host, certified life coach and Catholic mom, Danielle Thienel. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let's get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be coming out about a month later than the story I want to tell you all today, but that's okay. I just have so much to share from one little incident that happened in my life. And I found myself telling my small groups that I work with this week about it, as well as my one-on-one clients. And, you know, when I found myself repeating it and seeing all of the lessons in it, I said, I have to record a podcast because I want my podcast listeners to also benefit from what happened in my life recently. So let me tell you how you can pivot to peace. I want you to know that this option in your life is always available. When you're not in peace, it only takes one little change of perspective, a different thought, a new belief coming into your mind for you to then put yourself back on a path to peace when you find yourself being, shocked by a circumstance that comes into your life, or just somebody brings in some news that you weren't expecting. And so this is what happened. I want to tell you the story. And then after I tell you the story, I'm going to recap the lessons and let you be able to see how you can apply the same thing if something like this happens in your life. So it is March right now when I'm recording this, and we had a spring break trip planned. Now, we planned this all the way back in, I think it must have been either November or December. It was decided that we were going to go to Colorado to ski. We have lovely friends there, and my one daughter had been injured the last time we were able to go as a family, so she was really looking forward to it. Plus, as any of you have heard me kind of trickle in, sprinkle there some of the podcasts saying that both of my daughters, I have twin daughters, are graduating high school and getting ready to go off to college. And they have really been in this whole kind of, since last year, really trying to find the college that they want. And we've been visiting schools and all the application. And, it's sort of been their full-time job on top of school. And my one daughter really was looking forward to this change of scenery, as was I. Even though I'm naturally a beach girl, and at this time of year, after having January and February, I like to flock to where there is warmth and sunshine. But my husband loves to ski, and he's recently decided that he just wanted to get back in it and has gone a couple times already this season. And so this was a chance for us to go as a family. And so it was, planned for months in advance. And, like with anything that you plan in advance, I think one of the best parts is you thinking about it on the way to the day when you leave, right? Like there's planning, but you're also talking about it and you're imagining and looking forward to. There's this anticipation of this fun and rest time that you'll have. And really for us, it's mostly like breaking up of the monotonous routine, right? Like we just, especially over winter, you're just inside a lot and it's more gray and overcast, but you're just, for me at least, sort of kind of a little bit of a robot type thing happening with your schedule. Same thing day after day. So as always, one of the great parts of going on vacation is looking forward to going on vacation. So this is where I want to tell you where my pivot came in that brought me to peace. And I want to make note to all of you listeners that this story just totally shed light on what coaching has done for me and how it's changed me as a person and changed how I experience life now. Because prior to coaching, I kind of call that BC, before coaching, I was a different human being. I had different beliefs. I thought differently about life. Most of it was a lot of what I wanted to change about other people and the outside, just what was going on externally, always wanting to have other people and other things change so that I could feel better. And then what I call AC, after coaching, has really brought so much peace to my life and to my world, because I now look at what's going on in the world outside of me and inside of me so differently. So getting to the story of really what happened with this ski trip. So I had packed. It was all planned. We were flying out Saturday morning, and this is Friday afternoon. I had several back-to-back clients, fitting in some clients before I took these few days off. And I had spent the night before not just packing me, but, helping the kids and really just getting all the supplies and, coats and jackets and masks and gloves and all the things you need for skiing all settled and packed. And then on Friday, the day before we were supposed to leave in the morning, I had my husband text me and said, "Hey, are you available?" And I said, yes. And he came into the office as I wrapped up my last client, who, by the way, one of them towards the end said, "Hey, I heard you all are getting the weather we're getting. And I have a friend who lives where you are, and they decided to go ahead and start driving." I think they were headed down to Disney World tonight. And I was like, "Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we are supposed to, I think, get a little bit, of maybe some flurries or a little bit of snow here." So anyways, my husband said, he came in and he said, "I just got a text from the airlines and they canceled our flight." And this is what I want you to know. BC Danielle, before coaching Danielle, would have immediately gone into, what? Why? Oh my gosh, can they do that? What are we going to do? And AC Danielle answered it. My brain immediately went to, okay, that's just a circumstance. Like, literally, I remember sort of just kind of like what I tell my clients to do. We kind of want to float out of our body and take a look and see what our brain is doing. And we really want to kind of like judge what's going on more towards, is this a fact? Is this in my control? Or is this just a story I'm telling myself? And that sounds like that would take a long time. But my brain now has been trained to immediately go to see things in whether it's fact or it's story. And I saw myself in that moment when I heard my husband's words, "The airlines canceled our flights tomorrow." I found myself immediately going to, okay, that's just a fact. What do I want to think about it? And just that in itself, I want to tell you, it brings me such peace to think that that is how I react now. And so from there, of course, there was more fact gathering. And this is what we want to do to be more peaceful in our life. We want to separate what's happening factually from what our brain and the drama is offered to us from our brain. So we just gathered facts. Okay, was it because of the weather? What is the weather going to be like? Is there another flight? Do we want to call them? Do we want to see if we want to delay a day? And we just stepped into what was in our control. And in our control was gathering more information, more facts for a while. And so we did that. And at the end of the evening, we moved into the second place that brings you a ton of peace, mamas. When you can accept what is going on in your life as something that you don't wish was different, or you're thinking that it shouldn't be happening. But when you move into acceptance, and so at this point, we were like, okay, there's no more flights. Even if we leave the next day, it wouldn't be till the evening. So then that would mean that we would only have 2 days there and coming back, but we really want to spend more. And then there was another flight out, and then that one was like, triple the price. And so we were like, yes, we're not willing to pay that price to go later. And so we came into acceptance. Okay, we are not going to be going skiing. Okay. And that second step of acceptance, first we just became aware of what the facts were and what we were thinking. And then we moved into the acceptance of what was happening. And then this is what we did. We gathered as a family and we went out to dinner. And when we were out to dinner, we all felt disappointed. We felt disappointed that we weren't able to go to the trip that we were looking forward to. And we decided, let's talk about our disappointment. This is another thing that BC, before coaching, I wouldn't have known. I didn't know that feeling negative was not a problem, that it was actually something that you want to do, and that we didn't want to react to being disappointment or try to think that we shouldn't be disappointed and avoid it. But we actually all were disappointed, and we decided to talk about it and to process it and tell each other what we were thinking and what disappointed us about it. And we just felt it. We felt it. And really by the end of dinner, I remember that we were kind of joking and started to actually move towards this place of peace about that it was happening, and started to actually look at maybe the good things that were going to come from not going. And I just saw that because we accepted it, and then we didn't try and push those negative feelings away, but we felt it. And by the end of dinner, we were feeling better. And so this is kind of what happened in the next 24 hours. We, that evening, we all just kind of went to bed. And sometimes when life throws us these circumstances that we weren't expecting, that is our unmet expectations, that we are feeling disappointed or sad about, sometimes just going to sleep and shutting off the brain and not thinking for a while is the best medicine. And it turned out to be that for us, especially for me. And so we get to wake up the next day, and you wake up with a different perspective. You wake up with some separation of kind of like the drama that unfolds with circumstances that you weren't expecting. And so we all just kind of did our morning routine. I know that we were thinking, we were supposed to be going to the airport. And then we quickly came back to that acceptance. We're not going to the airport. And then as I was sipping my coffee, we all just kind of talked around it. And from this place, we moved to our future. We said, okay, so is there somewhere else we could go, something else we could do? And we bounced around some ideas, and, even having a staycation and doing some things came to mind for all of us that sounded fun. But then my one daughter offered us all a thought. She said, I really want to change my environment. I really want to not be here. I'd just rather be anywhere but here. And so in that thought that she offered, we all were kind of in agreement. We understood that the change of scenery and the breaking up of our routine was really what we were after. So this is where the next step of pivoting to peace that I want you to know comes. we made a really quick, confident, decisive decision. So in that conversation, we said, okay, how about we drive to the beach? And then that had my husband going, okay, let me look up that hotel that we know of that's on the beach and see if they have any availability. Okay, so he was doing that. Another one was looking at the weather. And even that circumstance came that the weather was not going to be totally ideal for the beach. But remember, we had decided that the most important thing to all of us was the change of scenery and the breaking up of routine. And so in this time, my husband said they have rooms. Then we all looked at each other and said, what is the decision? Shall we do it? We all nodded yes. And then it was like, okay, it propelled us forward. We changed, we all went to change our packing, right? So out came the heavy winter stuff. In came some lighter spring beachy things. And within the hour that morning, we were on the road and driving to the beach. We ended up spending 3 days at the beach, where we saw 2 amazing, gorgeous sunsets. We did a little shopping on the one day where there was some overcast and rain. We celebrated my son's birthday. We went out to one of those kind of big hibachi Japanese dinners, which is always so fun. We took several walks a day on the beach. I read a book and a half, just had some lovely conversations and talks. And you know what we did? We changed our scenery and we got out of our routine. And though when we were there, we were like, wow, well, we're not on the slopes. We just had so much fun. And I wanted to share all the lessons in what happened with my coached brain, my brain now that has this new way of tapping into peace and peace of mind whenever I direct it to. So that's the story of what took place with us last week. And in it, as I was showing my own clients that I myself walk the talk that I give here on the podcast and in my coaching business. And I want you to know that you could also have this BC and AC brain. It does take regular going to the gym type things where you have, you come to coaching, you learn these concepts and tools, but then you actually have to apply them. And though we're never perfect at it, and I don't apply them 100%, this story that I told you just shows about how there is ways that life is going to give you circumstances that are not in your control. You're going to have situations that you don't want to be happening. You're going to want to resist and react and just avoid the pain that some of these circumstances are going to bring for you. And in this case, it was for us, it was literally just, mostly disappointment. And to recap, I want to show you that what happened is I saw what was in my control. I didn't react, but I immediately looked at what were the facts and what were my thoughts about it. And I decided to choose thoughts that brought me closer to acceptance. And when I was in acceptance of what was happening, that is when I had my greatest power. This is when I was empowered to then process those disappointing feelings, to process this negative feelings that we were having. And then ultimately we were able to pivot. We were able to redecide, make a new decision. And then from there, we were able to go and create still a wonderful time, a wonderful break. And it happened very quickly. It was less than 24 hours. And another big lesson I want you to see that when we pivot to peace is that sometimes, well, actually a lot of times, what our brain initially offers us about life and about what's happening to our life is wrong. Like my brain thought for months that I would be skiing on those days, that I would be on a mountaintop around snow, taking lessons and taking pictures, and we would be enjoying the sport of skiing. But we're wrong sometimes. Our brain is wrong. And then we get to be like, okay, that's not a problem, and pivot. Just a slight change in perspective, in thinking, in the way that you're looking at your life, you can access peace and this power that you have to then make new decisions that still can have you enjoying life and just having more fun and love. And sometimes it's not as easy as the story that I was able to tell you today, but it still can have the same results when you go through the same process of becoming aware and then accepting it, and then just a slight pivot, a slight adjustment, and you can have some amazing results in your life. So I want you to know that there could be places in your life where you don't have peace right now, but with a slight pivot of your mind and your feelings and your actions, you totally can have a result of more peace. So if you want to learn how to have more peace in your life, I want to invite you to come to a free peace plan call with me. That is exactly what you're going to get when you sign up for a free call. We are going to give you immediate relief from anything that is challenging you in your life today. And then you are going to have a plan. You will come away from this call with a peace plan. The 3 essential steps are also going to be given to you in this call. And so it is a win-win. You just have to pay with your time. Are you curious on what could be possible for your life if you have an AC brain, an after coaching brain, that right now you have a BC brain? If you want more, let me know. You can email me, or you can visit me on Instagram at Danielle Thienel Coaching, or you can just sign up for one of those free peace plan calls. I have about 2 spots a week open for these free calls. So see if you want to grab one of those now. In order to do that, there's a call scheduler that will be linked in the show notes. So always check the show notes for any of the current links for you to connect with me. Or of course, you can find it on daniellethienel.com. I hope you all enjoyed this kind of story behind the scenes into what happened recently in my life. And again, I wish you so much peace and so much love. And I just thank you for listening. And I will see you again here next week. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Are you ready to take everything I teach you here and put it to work for your own life? To really learn how to have peace of mind no matter what is happening around you? If so, I'd love to have you as a client. As your coach, this is where you'll get personal and focused time on your own mind using life coaching tools, concepts, and proven life-transforming wisdom, all through a faith-filled lens. To learn more about how we can work together, come on over to daniellethienel.com. There, you'll see how to sign up for a free coaching consult and learn how to get started. Until next time, peace be with you always.